everybody. Trisha Hirschberger coming to you from CES 2020. I am here at the ASUS press suite with JJ, about to talk about the world's first DSC gaming monitor. How are you, JJ?
I'm doing really good, and thanks for coming out. This is actually a pretty cool monitor in a lot of different ways, outside of being actually the world's first DSC monitor. I think the biggest thing you notice right off the bat is that it's 43 inches. So we actually offered this in the previous generation, and we showed it off at last CES. So 43 inches, high refresh rate, but we've kind of pumped everything up. So we maintained 4K. We moved up to 144 Hertz, and through DSC, this allows us to eliminate something called chroma subsampling. And pretty much what this just means is you get better color gradation, especially on a large format screen. You don't want any type of artifacts, and this is able to now be achieved through what's called display stream compression. And that allows us to now have full 10-bit color performance, a 1 millisecond response time, along with this big, beautiful display. I think it's a really great balance, not only for PC gamers, but also actually for current console gamers and next-gen console, right? Next-gen console, we already know the benchmark is 4K and high refresh rate, and this is also going to be G-Sync compatible, supporting VRR, so that's very complimentary for gamers on the console side of the fence. And some other cool little things that we've got an actual remote for this guy. Well, why would you have a remote? Well, if you mount it on a wall, you can go ahead and control all the on-screen display options, and we even have two 10-watt speakers in there, so you got some nice punchy audio, so if you don't want to have to game or maybe watch your Netflix or maybe the best Newegg YouTube TV, right? You don't have to throw on a headset, right, to be able to experience that. You can just do it through the speakers.
Awesome. Do we have a projected release date or price point for this?
Price point hasn't yet been finalized, but we're looking at a release date of probably about the end of Q1. It might even be a little bit earlier for here in North America.
Here in 2020 Q1?
Yeah, for sure.
Very exciting. And what else is ASUS showing off from the display standpoint here at CES?
Well, I think from the next display, it's going to really be the one monitor to rule them all, the Precious.
Ooh, should we go see the Precious?
I think we should check it out.
Let's do it. All right, moving over. So, JJ, you described this display as the Precious. I'm assuming it was not forged in the fires of Mordor, so why the name for this display?
You know, there's always seems to be really this big focus on kind of like this one monitor to rule them all, where gamers really kind of want every single key specification rolled into one single monitor.
And this is it?
And I really feel that this is just about the highest end monitor in terms of all those key specifications. So if we just go through that whole rigmarole, we've got 32 inches, which is an upgrade from the previous generation, which was 27 inches.
Yep.
We then move into, of course, 4K resolution, really being that target for the high-quality image gaming experience. We then move into the next part, which is high refresh rate, 144 Hertz.
Beautiful.
We then, of course, have G-Sync to be able to ensure that smooth gaming experience. We have full 10-bit performance as well on this monitor as well, so you have outstanding color performance. And then, really, the most impressive part is probably that this is a full array local dimming.
Beautiful.
Now, the really impressive part with it being full array local dimming is that this is achieved through the use of mini LEDs, right? So as opposed to even the previous monitor, which is really impressive, it was a fantastic image, and it was HDR 1000. This is a brand new standard. This is HDR 1400.
So 1400 nits of brightness.
Yes.
Beautiful.
So this just opens up a whole nother level. As you can see, you guys are probably not going to be able to see it, but the dynamic range here in person is just astonishing. From the darkest points on the monitor to the brightest points, it just really allows you to have a whole nother level of immersion that's really, really impressive. That 1,152 zones across the entirety of the display is just, it's just awesome. And I think unquestionably for a lot of gamers, this is going to be that one monitor rule them all for 2020.
I mean, it makes me want to go back through and play the game again on this monitor, so that's the goal.
That is definitely the goal.
All right, now you guys have also been getting some mad press on the world's fastest display, so let's go take a look at that.
Yeah, definitely. ROG Swift 360.
Best of CES 2020. This is one of the products that I have been really looking forward to seeing in person, and it does not disappoint. Tell us about this new, beautiful 360 Hertz display.
Well, I think you just really highlighted it, right? I mean, we've consistently been at the forefront of high refresh rate monitors, right? We were the first to offer 120, then 240, 280, and now 360 Hertz. This is really all about the journey towards perfect motion clarity, and now we're really offering that next benchmark at 360 Hertz. The really cool part about this demonstration altogether is that it was a kind of collaborative effort between Blurbusters, between NVIDIA, ASUS, to be able to really highlight that you can see the difference, right? There's always been a lot of discussion sometimes amongst the community, users, media. Can you really see the difference? Now, 100% this is targeted towards professionals, people that are competitively playing in ranked ladder environments, right? Or in a dedicated esports environment. They're really the ones that are going to benefit from this most. But I think the whole point of this demonstration is to be able to show that it doesn't matter who you are, if you come up and you take a look at this display, right? And maybe you take, for instance, take a look at the volume of what we sell really to a huge amount of of gamers, which is 144 hertz.
Yes.
And then you switch over and take a look at 360 hertz. You can see there's a definitive experience. I know that you just checked it out, and were you able to really see the difference?
Oh my gosh, I can never go back. This is what always spoils me about CES, is I get to see the latest and greatest, and I go home and suddenly my rig at home is not good enough anymore. But this is absolutely stunning, and especially when you take this one down to 60 frames per second. When you get into the community forums where people say 60 is good enough,
yeah.
This shows that difference so clearly. I mean, when you're looking at the avatars here, you can barely read the text on screen, even in 144 hertz. Move over to the 360 and it's so much clearer. I mean, for me, it's the difference of taking my glasses off and on again, except for with your monitor.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to really describe it. It's really difficult to ultimately go back. And ultimately, even if we switch this guy and we go over to 240 hertz, which has been the previous benchmark, you can still see that there's improvement in clarity. So for those of you that are really kind of wondering about just the key specifications, we still got a bit more to go in terms of the development of this monitor. It will be released in 2020, but key highlights, 24.5, which is really kind of the sweet spot for a 1080p based monitor, especially for being able to offer it in flexibility to be able to take it around all kinds of places.
Sure.
And then of course the 360 hertz, and then of course integration of G-Sync, right, to be able to ensure you get that smooth gaming experience, right? So all the way around, I think this is going to become the new benchmark along with some of those other monitors we talked about, that whether you're looking for that really big experience, that ultra byte experience, or that super fast experience, we're going to have monitor for you.
So you just mentioned those three. Let's just go over again. Overview retail availability for the three monitors that we discussed today.
Yeah, so overall, all of them have a target release for the year 2020.
Awesome.
I'd say with the last two monitors that we covered with the mini LED, so the PG32UQX, as well as the ROG Swift 360, we do not have a target release date that we can give you guys, so ultimately just stay tuned to our social media channels, and we'll do our best to let you know once those are going to be ready. And Newegg, always being a fantastic partner, is pretty much one of the first places you can always get the monitors at. But for probably the PG43 monitor, you should see that showing up online, I'd say before the end of Q1. And here in the United States, probably is going to be maybe a little bit closer to around March timeframe.
I know we don't have pricing yet for any of these three monitors that we discussed today, but can you give us just an overview of when you expect retail availability?
For sure. In terms of availability, all three monitors will be available in 2020. But for the first monitor, it's going to be the PG43. That's going to be available before the end of Q1, most likely sometime in early March. For the ROG Swift 360, as well as for the PG32UQX, that's going to probably be in the later half of the year. But as always, stay tuned to our social media channels and we'll let you know when that's going to hit.
Awesome. JJ, thank you so much for sharing all of this knowledge, and I think everyone at home will feel the same way as me, that we just can't wait to get our hands on these in person, so thank you.
Thank you.